XRP is slowly pushing higher. Most of the other coins are slow, and XRP is up around 8% for the week. And that's just the starting point of this. The news, the narratives, that's what attracts new buyers. That's what attracts people who are waiting on the sidelines. Here, John actually gives you the idea like, okay, when the price is about $2, you'll actually see FOMO coming back into the market. I think that's true. But I also believe that as soon as the price make a local high here, a new local high, which would be somewhere around 0.7, 0.8, I definitely believe like a lot more people would be interested in this market, because it kind of gives you the understanding we are trending up against Bitcoin. We had this breakout. We moved up. We consolidated. We are bouncing now on a daily with an engulfing candle. Remember what we talked about XRP here? At least last 4-5 days, I've been repeatedly saying, okay, look at this. XRP is actually showing possibility to move up. And this particular video was against Bitcoin, right? XRP is about to run higher, giving you all the reasons why I thought so. Now, before we had the recent push to the upside, I was saying, okay, there is a possibility we may actually follow the recent past, because the price usually does that. Right now, when we go back into the market, we see that, yes, we kind of did that. We push higher. So that's on a shorter time horizon. We kind of get to see, okay, we are following similar patterns. We are going up. Now, once you break through a key level, it's healthy to first see a retest of this level. So if you are in the market, don't just FOMO in. Look for divergences. Look for opportunities where you can actually enter with dips. Because if something is actually running up fast, you don't actually want to get on that green candle at the top and end up buying higher when you can literally buy a little bit lower. That's going to be an easy probability here. But remember, the market actually showed you signals. And when the majority were selling you the thought process, we're going to go down, we actually gave you this like, okay, if the market respected this trend line last 4 times, I would go with that trend line, right? And then what happened? We bounced off from that. And if you actually come to the price action right now, looking at the same weekly candle, this is what's happening right now. It's so clear that we made that engulfing candle and we are pushing higher. This week is just halfway through. We have a long distance to move, and if you manage to barely retest this range, what does it look like on the monthly? That's bullish. That's super bullish. Last time when you had something similar, this is what you did, and this time it does look like you are even more bullish right now. Welcome to the Scientific Investor family, where the normal retail guys get to learn how to become the next top 10% of this crypto world. Right now, you focus on this. While the price was dropping, we were still close to the bottom. We actually showed you either we get a reversal signal or we wait for the price to enter this territory. Now, we did enter that territory. And then what happened? It started making this divergence. And I was like, guys, watch out. There is a divergence forming, right? We actually posted that here, May 12th. And then as it got extended, I was like, it's still valid, right? It's still valid. It's still playing out. Have some patience. This is going to go to the direction of the divergence. And eventually we broke higher. Now, one of the things you have to understand is if that's the macro trend line which you're watching there, it's like these 700 days of trend line getting broken here. You move up, you consolidate. Now you're trying to break higher. Right now, that stuff is broken. You're moving up. That's bullish. Now understand this while you're looking at the weekly macro scenario. If we can see this and then break it down into a perspective like, okay, most likely scenario which we may see is this. That's one of the reasons why I told you like about 0.6, 0.7 range. When the price reaches that territory, you'll see a lot of people jumping into this asset who actually thought literally like, we are actually going lower. We are going to go into the 0.2s, lower 0.3s and all, right? And here we are close to 0.5. We shared this thought process saying, okay, look at this. 2020, we did this inside this market cycle, right? The first wave, we started it like this. And it does show you the fact that more or less we are doing the exact same thing. So we would bounce back up. But right now, the price action shows you I'm late for the party. I don't have time to go through this consolidation phase. I'm going back up. That's what interests me. Meaning you didn't stay there for a long period of time. Instead, you reversed quickly. You made a inverse head and shoulder pattern, which we discussed in yesterday's video. We just broke that to the upside. Now, while I was making this, it was like 0.489, and right now it's 0.4935. So we are actually slowly trying to grind to the upside. Watch for short-term charts and the patterns if you are actually looking at short-term price action. But if you are someone like, okay, I really don't care about the short-term noise, look at the daily chart at least. It kind of gives you the idea where we are headed to, because daily candle just opened now and this is where you are. That means you're focusing on the last candle which closed, and that's again a bullish shaved candle. You are looking to the upside. So you got the idea, right? And while you look at this, yeah, the measured move is up. You may go towards 0.55. That will look bullish. So that's on the short-term pattern. Then you look for the medium-term one. You get a channel which actually broke to the upside. While we were testing this resistance, I told you guys, okay, we may be doing this ABC leg, and I was like, okay, we're getting a reversal signal at the resistance. So we may break to the upside. We got that. Now we are breaking that to the upside, slowly grinding up. What do we look forward from here? Say we want to look at the negative scenario, right? So if you are looking for that kind of a resistance, now it's like, yeah, around 0.6, we have one horizontal level, and just above that, we actually have this trend line forming. If we get resisted there, most likely that's going to be the first level of resistance which we should eye to see whether we get volume, how we react at that particular level. I'll be updating you guys like this before the price actually moves so that you guys have an edge in the market, right? Actually post that in the group as much as possible so that you guys are having that edge. Now, the monthly chart does give you this ability to understand, okay, we just had a reversal signal followed by an engulfing candle. Now an inside candle right now this month. It's about to close in a couple of days, and we are going to see how this month actually gets closed. And that's so bullish. Now, remember, I'm not saying this right now. You go back last couple of months while we were at the bottom, I was sharing the same thought process. So while we look for this, that's a weekly chart. You need some patience for sure. So you are looking for the 0.6 to see how the price reacts at that level. And if the 0.6 level here is broken, that's like you are taking off from that level. And that's what the market feel. But that's where the red flag comes in. A lot of people jumps in, they push the price towards 0.8 or $1, and then it corrects back down. How low? Maybe 0.45, maybe 0.5. That's going to be a level of support, because right now, as we just discussed, this level is going to act as a support once we break that to the upside. Now, the narrative here is clear. We all understand how things are evolving. Now, for some of these news, I wouldn't actually go hyped up so much. Say, you look at the reality. This is happening in Middle East, UAE, which is the biggest diaspora in UAE. It's Indians, right? Around 2.8 million people, which is actually too big for the country. Then, if you look at that portion, the 2.8 million, break it down, which is the major chunk of that portion. It's just one province, a state in India. That's from Kerala. That's my state. So that's the biggest diaspora, the language spoken in that country. Now, when you have a guy who's running your own stuff there, most people go to that area. That's Lulu Exchange. So we have already, Ripple have already partnered with Lulu Exchange in 2021, I guess. So most of them actually use that. Now, yes, this is a positive news. It's adoption, but I'm saying don't just go hyping things up. Reality does matter, right? Most of them, you look at, it's Indians, it's Pakistanis, it's Bangladeshis, it's Philippines. These are the area where you have to focus like, okay, where does all this go? And that kind of gives you an edge in the market to understand the fundamental side of things. But when the price action starts to move up, it's not just the fundamentals. The market psychology does matter. Right now, whether we agree with this or not, it doesn't actually look like you're trending lower. Right? Even if you actually go on a weekly, the market psychology kind of gives you the idea we were trending lower for sure, we came down, we hit a trend line here. We are trying to bounce off from that level. And this time, it does show you like we started respecting this trend line resistance, the horizontal range here, which was the previous level of resistance. So right now you get the point that, okay, we are making the higher high, the higher low, and we are trying to push this higher. If you see the price putting in above 0.585, that's another higher high. How much more confirmation do you actually need from the market on a weekly when you're bouncing off, right? So keep this in mind while you look at the short-term scenario and look for how things are evolving, how the bears are being kicked out of the market, all this stuff. If you get a retest and bounce, that's the healthy narrative here. I would actually go for that, saying, okay, maybe if you actually look at the market, this is what you're observing. The inverse head and shoulder, you broke to the upside. Getting a retest and bounce will be the best. Now, on the other side of things, while you actually look at the XRP Bitcoin, I'd actually say something similar. You just had this pattern. You broke that to the upside. Now we want to get a retest and a bounce, which kind of gives you more clarity or confirmation. Now go on to the Bitcoin dominant side of things. It becomes again interesting, right? It broke to the upside and I told you guys, okay, Bitcoin is about to run higher. Bitcoin did move up. But now the thought process here is like if Bitcoin dominance is actually running up and still XRP to Bitcoin shows you it's going to move up, now that's something, isn't it? Meaning Bitcoin is about to run up. It's good. It's great for the entire market, the crypto market. But XRP is about to move higher than the average. That's what it actually shows you, right? And what does that average mean? Say here in the crypto market right now, if you actually look at the altcoin side of things, at least on say a weekly chart, this is what we are discussing about. The macro reversal already came in. We highlighted that at this point here. Now, we are always a little bit early, right? So that does happen. A couple of months before this happened, I was like, okay, we are forming the divergence. We would be starting to bounce back up. Right now, you go into the charts and look at what's happening, right? One, you got a reversal price action candle there. Afterwards, you got another one. So you right now have two. One, it shows you the inverted hammer at the bottom, close to the support. Two, it shows you an engulfing candle. So right now you have this thought process like, okay, the price is actually getting some attention from people. They are trying to buy in. There is a lot happening outside of things in the macro economy for sure. So keep an eye on how things are evolving because this total market cap, you will still see some assets doing badly while some assets are taking that run to the upside. Here, while you actually plot this, you can actually see, okay, there is something playing out which looks bullish. You broke to the upside, a retest and a bounce would be great. And right now, as we discussed in the group, we are literally watching a lot of assets following this suit. Now, not all of these assets did run up recently, right? So it kind of shows you they were down, the psychology was low, people kind of hated those assets, and now it's starting to run up. The FOMO will begin. So you don't have to miss these steps once you understand the opportunities does exist in the market. So if you actually now look at like the other side of things, yeah, the economy is bad, but the stock market is trying to push higher. Then you look at the safe haven asset and it is slowing down. But yeah, you do get an idea like, okay, there is a trend line where we are actually moving towards. So maybe we are reaching a level of support. We may bounce off. That kind of narrative comes into the picture, right? But when you actually go on a monthly chart for that safe haven, you're trending higher. You're literally at the resistance, but you're trending higher. You're coming back down, and then most likely there's going to be just a reaccumulation phase considering how the market and the economy is right now. So you actually go back into the discussion which we had last time about XRP to Ether, because it actually gives you a better perspective, understanding like, okay, this is what the XRP Ether actually looks like. So we jump on to Ripple Ether, use Kraken for that, and we come on a daily. So here we are looking at it. What do we actually see here? Say, at least for my eyes, it does show me like, okay, we got this range here. Now there's a lot of noise. There's a lot of long wicks here for sure. But in such scenarios, I would say go on to a line chart because it kind of gives you ability to reduce the noise and give you more certainty. Or if you still want to use a candlestick, I would say go use a Heikin-Ashi candlestick. It kind of show you where the momentum is moving, right? If it's green a couple of times, that's like, okay, we are going up. Now, if you want to get more certainty, you can actually go on a weekly chart and look where the RSI is, whether it's above the moving average or below that, and whether the candle is green or red. When it is red, it goes red for a long time. When it is green, it just goes in green. So you get to see these kind of green candles at the bottom forming like this, similar, and then you pump to the upside. If you go back into just XRP to a US dollar and use the same thought process, this is where we are. And this is a weekly chart I'm showing you guys. So weekly, we just turn green like this, and this is what we are observing. Now, one of the easy stuff there would be go on to a daily chart. Does it look bullish? It does. Zoom in. Go on to a 4-hour chart. Does it look bullish? It does. Look at what the RSI is showing you. So you can actually do this to whatever level you are looking to trade the market in. But as a fundamental asset, I would say this is not a tradable asset. This is an investable asset. Hold on to this. Buy more. That's what I would do. So if you're asking like, okay, that's if XRP is an investable asset, and you're saying like, okay, that's like a high utility, high fundamental asset for investments, what do you look forward to tradable assets, right? In this market, we have a ton of them, right? The small cap, the medium cap, the micro cap, you have a lot of them. Just choose assets which have some volume, which have some news and narrative, which is getting some market attention. They also show you some pattern, right? They also show you they are about to break higher. That means they now have room to the upside to run. And if you are looking for something like this on a regular basis, you can actually look at the Patreon. The link is given in the description below, where we go through all of this on a regular basis. So you guys actually see which of these assets are looking like an opportunity, where the breakout is, what the target is, which is really important, right? So guys, if you receive value for your time, please do hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't done that already. I'll meet you guys on the next video. Bye for now.